Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. This video is on the concept of sujood or submission as laid down in the Kitabullah, and also to give an insight into that what is the sajdah of the creations of the Allah, and what was the sajdah or submission which was offered to Yusuf AS by his family. Let's concentrate on the message of the Kitabullah. I am commencing with the permission of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the recitation of the verse number 49 and 50 of the Surah An-Nahl. وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ دَابَّةٍ وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ وَهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. And for Allah submits whosoever which is present in the heavens and whatsoever which is there on the earth out of the moving creation, and the angels or the malaika, and they do not show any arrogance or self-pride. Verse number 50 of the Surah An-Nahl. يَخَافُونَ رَبَّهُم مِّن فَوْقِهِمْ وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. They fear of their sustainer, of their Rabb, which is on top of them, and they do what they have been ordered to do. This completes the act of submission or sujood. As we have seen that their sajda or their submission is onto the amr or to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Part of the verse number 18 of the Surah Al-Hajj. Alam tara anna Allah yasjudu lahu man fis samawati wa man fil ardi wash-shamsu wal kamaru wan nujumu wal jibalu wash-shajaru. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the humanity that you do not see or you do not observe, meaning we as mankind have been asked to observe or to see that to Allah do sujood, sajda or submission whatsoever which is present in the heavens and in the earth and the sun and the moon and the stars and the mountains and the trees. Their sujood or their submission is not out of our comprehension, but rather Allah is asking us to observe that how they are doing sujood to me, how they are submitting to my commands, to my amr which I have been conveyed to them, and they do with utter humiliation and without any arrogance what they have been ordered to do. It is not logical to take the meaning of sajda here as physical prostration, as they are not these all creations which Allah is speaking of, they are not similar to man, and they cannot do physical prostration how a man can perform, but rather Allah is asking us to observe their sujood, their submission. So their submission or their sujood is to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To understand the concept of sujood or submission as laid down in the Kitabullah, let's concentrate on the verse number 15 of the Surah Al-Fatir. Ya ayyuhan nasu antumul fukara'u ilallah wallahu huwal ghaniyul hamid. O mankind, you are in constant need towards your Allah, towards your God, and Allah is the one who is in no need. He doesn't need anyone, and He is the most praiseworthy. Allah does not need any sujood for His own self. Rather, the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for one creation are directed towards one of His other creation. Let us understand the concept of sujood or submission as laid in the Kitabullah by concentrating on the story of the creation of man and the sujood which was done by the angels at the time of the creation of man. Verse number 11 of the Surah Al-Araf. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ صَوَّرْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ لَمْ يَكُمْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. And indeed, we created all of you. Moreover, we gave shape to all of you. Moreover, we said to the angels, to the Malaika, to submit, to do sajda for the Adam or the man, and then they did the sajda or they did submission, except Iblis. He was not amongst the ones who have done the sajda or who have done submission. The angels did sajda or submitted on the command of Allah, which was for an other creation, that is man. And in this process of submission, they did not show any arrogance of self pride, but rather they show extreme degrees of humility and abasement. But the Iblis showed the arrogance and the self pride, as we will learn from the verse number 12 of the Surah Al Araf. Verse number 12 of the Surah Al Araf. Kala ma mana'aka Allah tasjuda is amartuk. Kala ana khairum minhu khalaqtani min narin wa khalaqtahu min teen. Said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that which thing has stopped you from submitting or to offer sajda when I have commanded to you to do sajda or to do submission. And the Iblis showed his arrogance and self-pride, and his statement is recorded here in the verse number 12 of the Surah Araf, and he said that I am better than the man. You have created me out of fire and you have created him out of clay. On the same lines, meaning the way the Malaika, they were asked to do sajda on the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the command was to submit for the man. Similarly, the mankind is also expected to do sajda to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the verse number 73 of the Surah Al Furqan, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has recorded here the qualities of the Ibadur Rahman. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ لَمْ يَخِرُّوا عَلَيْهَا سُمًّا وَأُمْيَانًا. And these individuals, meaning Ibadur Rahman, are those that whenever the messages or the ayat of their sustainer are reminded to them, they do not fall on them, meaning they do not fall on them or they do not go into sujood to those ayat, to those messages, unless they have completely comprehended these messages. They do not fall on the message of the Kitabullah as if they are deaf and blind. Now let us have a deep insight into what sort of sujood or submission was offered to Yusuf alayhi salam. This is the verse number 4 of the Surah Yusuf. Iskala Yusufu li abihi ya abati inni ra'aytu ahada ashara kawkaban wa shamsa wal kamara ra'aytuhum li sajidin. And when said Yusuf to his father, O my father, indeed I have seen 11 stars and the sun and the moon, and I have seen them doing sajda to me or submitting to me. It is not logical to take this meaning as physical prostration, as these creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot do physical prostrations the way we can do. And also, it is important to highlight that we are not a witness to this dream, that how it was shown to Yusuf alayhi salam, that how the sajda or that submission was shown to him in his dream. But the important thing, or the most important thing, is this fact that this dream or this vision was shown by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Yusuf alayhi salam, that it was the matter decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Yusuf alayhi salam family will submit to him, accepting his authority. Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam said to his son, Kala ya bunayya la taksus ru'yaka ala ikhwatika fayaqidu laka qaida inna shaytana lil insani aduvvum mubin. Yusuf alayhi salam father Yaqub alayhi salam was completely aware of the enmity and the hatred that was brewing in the hearts of the brothers of the Yusuf alayhi salam. And on listening to this dream of Yusuf alayhi salam, he said to Yusuf alayhi salam that, "O my son, do not inform your brothers about your dream or your vision, lest they will plot a plot against you. Indeed, Satan for man is an open foe." Many events happened afterwards, which listeners can go through themselves while reciting Surah Yusuf. I am just sticking to the topic that when the brothers of the Yusuf alayhi Islam came to the Yusuf alayhi Islam and he was in power in the Egypt, and they accepted the authority of the Yusuf alayhi Islam, and their statement is recorded in the verse number 91. قالوا تالله لقد آثرك الله علينا وإن كنا لخاطئين. They said, by Allah, indeed Allah has given you priority on us. Indeed Allah has placed you on top of us. And indeed we are the ones who have been at fault. The dream was fulfilled in the verse number 100 of the Surah Yusuf, the same dream which Yusuf alayhi salam saw in the verse number 4, and this dream was accomplished and the matter was decided and completed as decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا وَقَالَ يَا أَبَتِ هَذَا تَأْوِيلُ رُؤْيَايَ مِنْ قَبْلُ قَدْ جَعَلَهَا رَبِّي حَقًّا. And he, meaning Yusuf alayhi salam, raised his parents onto the throne and fell into utter humility and abasement. All the arrogance, self pride, enmity, and hatred which was present in the hearts of the brothers of the Yusuf alayhi salam, and the submission or the sajda was performed onto the matter of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that his family will submit to the authority of the Yusuf alayhi salam. We do not know what was the physical aspect of that sajda done at that meeting, but we do know by listening to these verses of the Kitabullah that their arrogance and self pride and enmity against the Yusuf alayhi salam fell down, and they submitted, or they did sajda to Yusuf alayhi salam. They submitted to the authority of the Yusuf alayhi salam, and this was the matter which was decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the Yusuf alayhi salam spoke to his father, "O my father, this is the reality of the dream which I saw before. Indeed, my Rabb has placed the truth." Surah Yasin, verse number 82. Innama amruhu iza arada shayyan an yakula lahu kun fayakun. And his command is that whenever he intends a thing, he says unto it, "Be it," and it is. I will close this talk with this very important message that Allah is Ghaniul Hamid. Allah is in no need for any sajda or any physical prostration for himself. Rather, the concept of sujood is that the creations of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are expected to submit or to do sajda to his commands or to the matter which has been decreed by him with utter humility, without showing any arrogance or self pride. Jazakumullah khair.